And a happy Finally Friday to you. It is the 1st of February 2019. Eric Granstrom in for Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Hope you're ready for a good weekend. And I hope you're ready for a little bit of weather coming our way in the morning hours this morning and through the day today. We'll get a complete look at the forecast coming up in just a little bit for this Finally Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. On tap today, see all this right over here? We're going to cover all of this. It's a stack of stuff today here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll take a look at the passes here in just a moment. Also, the latest in news and some sad news to report about the sudden death of a pretty well-known person here in North Central Washington. We'll talk about that with news coming up. Also in sports, it is playoff time. It is state championship time for some. We will run down the complete list of what's happening both today and tomorrow as far as the world of sports is concerned. Of course, it is Super Bowl Sunday coming up with Super Bowl 53 on tap. And we'll talk about some strange betting that happens. Besides the game itself, there's all these proposition bets. And we'll talk about that as well. Did you know that a 30-second commercial during this year's Super Bowl is costing companies over $5 million? That's just for 30 seconds. Holy cow. All right, before we get into the show today, and Mike Magnotti with his opinion coming up later on. Also, we're going to replay the interview that Dan did a few days ago with the folks from the Follies, Jaime, Donegan, and Connie Morris. We'll have that for you coming up in the last half of the show. But before we get into it, let's take a look around the valley with our camera view this morning. And first of all, we're looking downtown Wenatchee. Thanks to the folks at Sky5 for providing our camera views here this morning. Yeah, it's still dark. We have a cloud cover, so I think that our sunrise, which is coming up about a half hour, is going to be dragging its heels a tad this morning. Also, as you drive around this morning, you're going to see some of those comb marks on the roadways. In fact, I think you can see those comb marks right there on South Wenatchee Avenue from the de-icer that's been applied. That's because we're expecting a wintry mix. We'll talk more about that in the forecast in just a few moments. Our camera 2 position this morning is looking down from Omi Gardens at a sleepy Wenatchee Valley, although the illumination from the lights through the stretch of downtown on the avenue as well as the one-ways kind of lighting the way, but you see that little cloud cover kind of foggy this morning as well. I don't know how much we're going to see on some of the other cameras, Kat. We've got Caitlin Heddersheet to run the controls this morning. Megan is a little bit still under the weather, so of course, aren't we all under the weather? I mean, really. Camera 3 this morning, provided by Sky5. Oh, there's kind of a pretty shot looking down at Lake Chelan. And the Goodfellows Spits there, and still a little controversy about those masses of rock and debris that are right there at Lake Chelan. But cloud cover on the deck here this morning. And we're expecting that cloud cover to actually produce some moisture. We'll see what that has for us in the forecast just a little bit. And camera 4 this morning is, okay, now you're going to throw a curveball at me here, Kat. This is, where is that? Oh, that's looking across from up McNeil Canyon, right? Okay. Okay. Oh, the camera's looking at each other. How cute. Okay, so that's just looking up over the knoll at the south end of Lake Chelan from McNeil Canyon. So you can see there's no weather coming at us right now, and somebody making their way, a couple of cars making their way up McNeil Canyon. Some of those canyons might get a little slick this morning too. So I'm sure the county road crews and state road crews are out keeping a close eye on things this morning. Now, as far as our weather forecast is concerned for today, we do have a winter weather advisory in effect until 2 o'clock this afternoon. They're calling for that wintry mix and for some snow falling in higher elevations, more on the Waterville Plateau and in the Okanagan Valley, places like that. Here for the Wenatchee Valley, maybe a little freezing rain, but that will turn to regular old-fashioned rain as we get through the day today. They say about a 30% chance of snow today, or as we get into the day today. Freezing rain possibly mixed with snow before 3 o'clock this afternoon, then rain. Highs getting up to 36 today. So even if we do get a little snow today, it's expected to warm up. In fact, I was looking on Facebook earlier, and some friends were saying Western Washington already in 60-degree temperature area in some of the locations in Western Washington. So it looks like there is some warm air that's at least coming through behind this system. As we look into the night tonight, we're looking at a 40% chance of rain before 10 o'clock and then patchy fog after that. The low tonight's around 35. Tomorrow we're going to have fog in the morning and then some sunshine in the afternoon. A little bit warmer with a high of 41. That's a little bit warmer than we are typically for this time of year. 31 for the overnight low on Saturday, and then Sunday, some clouds moving back in with a chance of rain or snow mixed, and a high of 38. And then you're going to see that cool down that happens for the first part to mid of next week. We're going to see high temperatures only in the 20s and nighttime lows getting down into the teens. So not near as bad as what they've had in the Midwest, but certainly some chilly temperatures. And the first time I think we've seen the teens here for quite some time. It's certainly the first for 2019, that is for sure. So just be aware, winter weather advisory until about 2 o'clock this afternoon for north central Washington, but mostly in the higher elevations as far as snow is concerned. Now, speaking of snow, let's take a look at the mountain passes right now from the DOT. The worst pass right now, that one right there, that is Snoqualmie Pass, getting some snow this morning. There's a traction tire advisory in effect, snow and ice on the roadway, currently snowing in 26 degrees at the summit of Snoqualmie, and you can see that right there with the snow on the camera. As we shift to Stevens Pass, it is not too bad this morning. In fact, no road restrictions at all. The roadway's bare and dry with frost and ice in places. That's pretty much the same story for Blewett Pass as we look at US 97 with mostly bare and dry conditions, a little frost and ice in places. So right now it's looking pretty good if you need to travel in the higher elevations, except maybe for Snoqualmie Pass. And it looks like those passes will continue to improve through the day rather than get worse. So if you need to travel in the higher elevations, that's your look at the pass cams this morning from the State Department of Transportation. Don't forget to check that at wsdot.wa.gov and just click on the pass cameras and you can get a quick look at what's happening as far as the passes are concerned. So that's a look at what we are looking at weather-wise here for this finally Friday morning, the first day of February 2019. We're going to take a quick break and come back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. As we're 7 minutes into the program, we'll have your latest local news coming up next.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
And a good finally Friday morning on this first day of February 2019. It is 8 minutes past the hour. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And it's currently 28 degrees with overcast skies in the Wenatchee Valley. As we take a look at your latest local news this morning, sad news to report this morning. Local longtime volunteer Rick Isaacson has died this week. Rick celebrated his 11th anniversary with the Chelan County Search and Rescue and a dedicated volunteer to many local organizations, also including the Red Cross, Wenatchee Police Department's VIPS program, and the Chelan County Fire Department. In a Facebook post yesterday, Chelan County Volunteer Search and Rescue wrote, quote, "It was an honor to know and work with Rick. He will be deeply missed," unquote. Yeah, sad news about the passing of Rick Isaacson here this week. In other news this morning, an out-of-court settlement has been reached between the city of East Wenatchee and the family of a man who was shot to death by a police officer 2 years ago. Cameron Ayers was shot by former police officer Caitlin Wilkins during a traffic stop. Wilkins shot Ayers as he sat in the back seat of a car parked in a private driveway on Bellevue Street. Ayers was a convicted felon who was wanted on an outstanding arrest warrant. The wrongful death lawsuit was filed in U.S. District Court in Spokane by Cameron's family and the victim's estate. Mayor Steve Lacy says he was satisfied with the settlement amount.
Settlement, in my opinion, and I participated to some degree in some of the discussions, was a good settlement for the city. There was no real issue in the case regarding whether or not the city was at fault for a violation of civil rights. And so the real question was what specific damages flowed from that action. And given that posture, I thought the settlement that we reached was fair and equitable.
Douglas County Prosecutor Steve Clem said in his report that Wilkins shot heirs out of fear for her safety, but the prosecutor stopped short of saying the use of deadly force was justified. Lacey says the police department has revised its training and policies regarding the use of deadly force as a result of the incident. The city's attorney, Devin Polson, says the settlement amount is confidential, but the mayor said it was believed to be around $300,000. The Wenatchee School Board is trying to find a way to cut about $5.2 million from the district's budget. After numerous public meetings and an online survey, the board on February 12th will begin making decisions. Board President Sonny Hemphill told NCW Life that when the 2018 legislature changed the school funding formula, it resulted in the tough decisions they now face.
Roughly 85% of our budget is salaries. And those are the people who teach our children, drive our children in buses, the school nurses, the counselors, the parapros, who are in the classroom every day making school work. The legislature said you can't do that anymore. They took a big chunk of the tax revenue that had been our local levy. And they did. They gave us more money than the state has been giving us in the past. But in taking our local levy, they also took our ability to use those monies specifically in the ways we have in the past. There is a serious shortfall between the money that we would have had under the old system and the money we have. And I'm hearing from people who are specifically concerned about their child's program. And my heart goes out to them. As a parent, when my children were in elementary school, the school district where we lived was hit with massive cuts. And it was difficult. I have, please don't cut counselors. My child needs the music program. My child needs AVID, which is a program for youngsters who come from a family where no one has gone to college before. So it's excellent program. Please don't cut after school. Please don't cut. And then it goes on. Please don't cut anything that touches AP. Please don't touch there as many programs as you can think of. There are people who are concerned that the budget cuts will affect those classes, those programs.
13 minutes after the hour here on the NCW Life Channel as news continues. Two bills in the state legislature take direct aim on plastics, with one proposing a statewide ban on single-use plastic bags and the other banning plastic straws. At an Environment, Energy, and Technology hearing on the straw ban last week, primary sponsor Senator Patty Curterer of Make That Bellevue Democrat said plastic straws are creating an environmental mess.
Every year, 8 million metric tons of plastics enter our ocean on top of the estimated 150 million metric tons that currently circulate our marine environments. Today, I offer a concrete step to begin reducing our state's contribution to the devastating amount of plastics entering and harming aquatic ecosystems. Thanks to the assiduous record-keeping of global beach cleanup crews, we know that America's beaches are strewn with about 7.5 billion straws. This is harming our aquatic life, and already it's making its way into human consumption. For the majority of us, plastic straws are pretty easy to do without. As a friend of mine told me that he drinks his iced coffee now without a straw and it tastes exactly the same. We need to be more conscious of what we do to our environment. This is our home, and simply put, single-use plastics are wasteful.
Now, 12th District Senator Brad Hawkins told NCW Life News that he is hesitant to throw his support behind either measure.
My feelings are mixed on those. I am a recycler. I do that faithfully. I'm very proud of that. But I like to use straws. I like to drink out of straws. But my feeling is if local jurisdictions, cities and counties want to take those steps through their elected governance bodies, their local city councils, in working in partnership with their mayors or the county commissioners, if they want to take those actions to prohibit either straws or plastic bags, then that's certainly something that they are welcome to do in their jurisdiction. I'm not sure it's the right step at this stage for the state of Washington as an entire state to make an effort to dictate to a certain county or a city jurisdiction what they can do in their own city.
In other news this morning, Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett was a staunch opponent of Initiative 1639, but now that it's become state law, he says he will enforce it. Burnett says he disagrees with some of his counterparts who have vowed not to enforce the new gun control law. Burnett tells NCW Life News that would be violating his oath of office.
Oppose it. I don't like it. I think it's a bad law, but I really think we need to let the courts take the process, and hopefully we can have something before that all goes into effect in is it June or July. I don't feel that it's my job or local officials to decide what is or isn't constitutional, because I think that's I don't like the law. I think it's a bad law. And I think it would be impactful, negative impact to, local law enforcement agencies. Also, the other piece of that I don't like is the fact that it, kind of puts the burden on law-abiding citizens rather than putting harsher penalties on the criminals.
Sheriffs across eastern Washington and Adams, Benton, Klickitat, and Yakima counties have announced they will not enforce the law. Burnett also campaigned against the measure that calls it flawed. Adams County Sheriff Dale Wagner is the most recent to announce his decision not to enforce I-1639. He said, quote, "Those who live and reside in Adams County have made this very clear in how we voted this last election, and an overwhelming percentage against the initiative. The measure was passed statewide by 60% of the voters." Well, one of the biggest fundraising events of the year is coming up at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. NCW Life's Megan McPherson has more.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life channel. We are here with Renee Parkins, the development officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Renee, you guys have an auction coming up, is that correct?
We do, Megan. On February 16th, we're going to have our annual auction for the animals, and this year's theme is really fun. It's going to be the hero, so we're encouraging community members to be the hero to the animals, but also to dress up like their favorite superhero and come have a lot of fun with us.
Awesome. So when is it?
It's February 16th. Doors open at 5, and then silent auction and games start at 5:30.
And where's it at?
It's going to be at Wenatchee Convention Center. Tickets are just $65, and they're available online or at the shelter.
Thank you much, Megan. The auction will include dinner, boardwalk-style games, event-themed cocktails, and both a silent and live auction featuring travel package, culinary experiences, and sports memorabilia. So, be the hero. It's hard to believe we're a week from tomorrow away from the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant. We'll have that live here on the NCW Life channel a week from tomorrow. Also next week here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we'll be featuring each of the top 10 candidates. So be sure and watch to learn more about each of the candidates that are vying to represent the Wenatchee Valley in the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Coming up next, we'll check sports news. We'll get your obscure holiday, take a look at what happened on this day in history. That and much more to come as we continue on for this Finally Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be back with more in a moment.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life channel the Concerts in the Garden Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Garden Summer Series, only on the NCW Life channel.
Wahoo, Wenatchee Valley, sale, sale, sale. Collins Super Sale has begun. All red tag sale items are 40 to 50% off with a great selection of jackets, vests, jeans, tees, tunics, dresses, leggings, boots, select Brighton jewelry and handbags. All scarves and gloves are 50% off. Too many items to mention. New spring fashions arriving daily. Time to start your preparing for spring trips at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
20 minutes past the hour here on this first day of February 2019. We're at 28 degrees, reaching for a high into the 30s today. There is a winter weather advisory in effect for some of the higher elevations, maybe even the Wenatchee Valley, until about 2 o'clock this afternoon, according to the National Weather Service. So be aware of that as you travel. Right now, Snoqualmie Pass has a traction advisory. Blewett and Stevens in pretty good shape, bare and dry, no restrictions this morning. Let's take a look at sports news here for this Friday. First of all, checking the Les Schwab men's college basketball scoreboard last night. Gonzaga had no trouble with BYU, shutting down the Cougars 93-63. Brandon Clark scored 23 points. Rui Hachimura added 20 and helped the Bulldogs improve to 20-2 on the season. Les Schwab Prep girls basketball scoreboard from last night. Cashmere won its 40th straight Caribou Trail League game dating back to 2016 with an 87-18 win over Cascade. It was also Chelan downing Tonasket 50-28. Cascade Christian forfeited its game to Easton, so that goes down officially as a 1-0 finish. And Eniat had no trouble with Wilson Creek, winning 71-31 on the prep basketball scoreboard on the boys' side last night. Thanks to Les Schwab for sponsoring. Cashmere beat Cascade 65-45 to claim the regular season Caribou Trail League title. Eniat stopped Wilson Creek 74-27. Chelan got 27 points from Quinn Stamps and 24 from Connor Wilson in an 80-67 win at Tonasket. Coming up on the schedule today, boy, it gets busy. Local bowlers on the way to the WIAA State Championships at Narrows Plaza at University Place, Eastmont. The two-time defending champs, Wenatchee won that prior to that in 2016. The ladies will begin competition today at 12:30 with the first of 6 regular games. Then on Saturday, the first of 14 Bakers begins at 10 o'clock in the morning. We should know a state champion by about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Representing Eastmont, best of luck to Alicia Hastings, Brittany Hastings, Colby Hull, Daylin Thomas, Megan Lindell, Samantha Hines, and Sky Wilson. For the Panthers, it's Emily Groth, Hannah Johnson, Holly Shipley, Jaden Thompson, Jessica Holbrook, Kyla Hankins, and Maddie Monroe. Good luck at the state championships. District time for area wrestlers. The 4A District 6 championship start today at Eisenhower High School. That'll start at 5 o'clock. They'll resume tomorrow morning at 10. And the Caribou Trail League, their district tournament begins tomorrow morning at Cashmere High School's Rondone Memorial Gymnasium. That'll start at 10 o'clock in the morning. District 6 swimming, they had the prelims for the swims yesterday at Moses Lake. They'll have the diving prelims today coming up at noon, and then the championships, the finals, will get underway tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Also coming up on the basketball schedule today, it's pretty busy. Omak plays at Chelan. Eastmont's on the road at Davis. Wenatchee hosts Eisenhower. We'll have that one live here on the NCW Live Channel. Grant Olson with your play-by-play. Also tonight, it's Manson at Brewster, Waterville-Mansfield on the road at Bridgeport. That's the girls' side. Boys' side coming up tonight. Same story, Chelan hosts Omak at 7:15, Eastmont's Davis at 7:30. That's the same start time for Manson at Brewster. Ike and Wenatchee will tip it up at about 7:30. We'll have that one live on the NCW Live Channel. Waterville-Mansfield at Bridgeport tonight. Late start time at 8 o'clock for that one. Coming up tomorrow on the girls' side, Manson's at Oroville at 6. Also 6 o'clock tip time for Waterville-Mansfield hosting Lake Roosevelt. Boys basketball tomorrow, very similar schedule. Did I not put that one on here, Kat? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, that's okay. Manson at Oroville, Lake Roosevelt at Waterville-Mansfield. Those games tip it up at 7:30. Not to be forgotten, the Wenatchee and Eastmont cheer squads will be leaving today for tomorrow's state championship cheer competition at Battleground High School, where they'll be competing all day. We got a note shared on our Facebook page from Marty Liu that they'll have a send-off for the ladies outside of Eastmont High School this morning at 8:15. So if you want to get there and cheer them on as they head to state, you're welcome to do so. Also, the Wenatchee Wild are in Penticton tonight for a battle against one of the best teams in the BCHL. The V's lead the Interior Division with 67 points, second only to Chilliwack in the entire BCHL. Chiefs have 71 points. Wenatchee snapped its 4-game losing streak Wednesday with a win at Merritt. They're in third place in the division with 59 points. The Wild return home tomorrow to host Vernon in Guns and Hoses night. Don't forget, Fire and Police play each other at 5. The Wild and Venom will play at 7 o'clock. They'll auction off some jerseys after the game as well. Finally, Super Bowl 53, just 2 days away. The LA Rams take on the New England Patriots. This is New England's 8th Super Bowl appearance in the last 17 of these games. Patriots will be looking for their 6th title in team history. The Rams won the title last in 2000 when they were the St. Louis Rams, knocking off Tennessee back then. Sunday's game will kick off at 3:30 on CBS. Of course, the pregame shows will start at about, 7 o'clock in the morning. 9-10 hours of pregame stuff for the Super Bowl 53, or LIII, coming up on Sunday. That's sports news at 25 past the hour here on this second day of February 2019. Second day. Well, I jumped ahead a little bit there. I went to Groundhog's Day tomorrow, for goodness sakes. 28 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley, looking for a winter weather advisory till about 2 o'clock this afternoon, according to the National Weather Service. So far, so good. Things are dry this morning, but as you head on your commute to work, wherever you may be going, you're going to see some of those wet comb marks on the streets because the DOT and area road construction crews have been out applying the de-icer this morning. So be aware of that. I've noticed some bridge decks, when they put that down, it gets kind of slippery. So be careful about that. All right, time to look at the weird or obscure holiday of the day, if you will. And it is National Bubble Gum Day. On this day, kids bring 50 cents to school to donate to a good cause. In exchange, they can chew bubble gum in school on this day. Did you ever get in trouble for chewing bubble? I remember 5th grade, Mr. Stendel, I was chewing gum, and I had to take the gum out of my mouth. I had to go up to the board in front of the class, and for the rest of the class until recess, had to put the gum up on the board and put my nose on the gum. That was a long time standing there with gum. The school selects in advance what cause the donations will go to. Now, Ruth Spiro, the creator of National Bubble Gum Day, wanted to have a day where kids could simply participate in donating without constantly having to sell things. She says that since its creation, Bubble Gum Day has become a sweet success. Bubblegum Day today. It's actually the first Friday of February. They don't say it's February 1st, so this being the first Friday, because they wanted to have it during a school day so kids could participate. So bring 50 cents to school. You're supposed to get a piece of gum from your teacher and be able to chew in class. Now, I don't know if everybody's doing Bubblegum Day, so you might want to take that in mind. I don't know, do they still do the nose on the board? Time to take a look at what happened on this day in history. For this first day of February back in 1942, planes of the U.S. Pacific Fleet attacked Japanese bases in the Marshall and Gilbert Islands. We have one of those old video reels. Let's take a look.
Your commentator is Ray Henley. Great events in the Pacific race into history. A vast armada of troop ships, guarded by the largest naval striking force ever assembled, sails to the attack. Destination, the Marshall Islands. For 25 consecutive days, the Marshalls are ripped by Army liberators operating from Tarawa, softening up Jap defenses and destroying landing strips. Flak tracers reach up like flaming fingers to seize the bombers, but fail to get the range. Jap planes on the ground are hammered into wreckage on the smashed runway. The roar of tons of high explosives from the sky is only the prelude to the mighty symphony of destruction to come.
Some dramatic footage there, that's for sure. On this date, 1951, 3 A-bombs were tested in the deserts of Nevada. Of course, they didn't realize the lasting impacts of testing atomic bombs. And look how close those people seem to that test there. Yeah, no, thanks. Not happening. But yeah, that's how they used to do it. They tested it just out, found a big space and had people stand about, 2 miles away, and they figured, you're fine. Hopefully they weren't downwind as well. But that happened on this date in 1951. Thank goodness we don't do that anymore. On this date in 1965, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and 770 others. Can you imagine 770 people being arrested in one day? That was during a protest against voter discrimination in Alabama. And that certainly started to swing the tide as far as national attention on equal rights. Birthdays today, famous celebrating birthdays. We have Ronda Rousey of the formerly MMA world and now supposedly of the WWE world is 32 today, and don't get in an argument with you, she'll take you down. Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis, former wife of Michael Jackson, is 51 today. Happy birthday. I understand the media's been talking about her having problems with drugs and things like that. Hopefully that's not the case anymore, but 51 years old today, Lisa Marie Presley. Boris Yeltsin was born on this date in 1931. He died in 2007 at the age of 76. Of course, the first president of the Russian Federation from 1991 to 1999. Also, celebrity birthday today, Clark Gable. He was William Clark Gable on his birth certificate, was born on this date in 1901. He died in 1960 at the age of 59, very young, but that was pretty common for people only to live, or especially men, to only live until they're 59, 60 years old back in the 1960s. Known as the King of Hollywood, Clark Gable was in 60 motion pictures. Clark Gable, born on this date in 1901. What else do we do today? Is that it? We don't do anything else? I feel like there should be a song and a dance or something. Oh yeah, we've got Mike Magnotti next. I wanted to talk about these Super Bowl prop bets real quick before we get to that. I know we've got Jaime Donegan and Connie Morris with Dan. They did an interview about Follies. They had their opening night last night, so we'll have that coming up. Also, Mike Magnotti's opinion. If you didn't know, I mean, the Super Bowl is a big thing. The Super Bowl commercials costing companies $5.05 million for 30 seconds. So you start adding that up on Sunday, and man, somebody's getting wealthy off of this, and it's mostly CBS and the NFL, by the way. But you can make bets on other things that have nothing to do with the game or kind of something to do with the game. Here's some of the prop bets. They're taking bets on how long it will take Gladys Knight to sing the national anthem. The average anthem, by the way, over the past several years has been 1 minute and 58 seconds. So we'll see how long it takes Gladys Knight. Start your timers. You can do these little bets at home too, just playing for quarters, things like that. Of course, there's bets you can do on the Bud Light commercials, believe it or not, and how many times "dilly dilly" will be said during Bud Light commercials. And actually, they're saying that's going to be down because that's so 2018. However, the Bud Light Night, the old night, they figured that he'll be featured in many of the Bud Light commercials. Will Adam Levine be wearing a hat when he starts the halftime show? That's an actual bet that you can lay down in Vegas. CBS, how many times will they show the replay of the Rams and Saints and the missed pass interference call? How many total times will Jim Nantz and Tony Romo say Gronk or Philly Special? These are all bets that you can do. How many times will CBS show Gisele Bündchen, Tom Brady's wife, on TV? The over and under right now is 1.5. It depends. I mean, if they start winning, you're going to see her a lot down the stretch. Will the roof of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, where the game's being played, will it be open when they start the game, when they do the pregame and all that? The bets are saying that it's going to be open. Also, they actually are betting on what color the liquid that's poured on the winning coach will be. The odds-on favorite right now, by the way, is yellow, the Gatorade, that kind of greenish color. Then you have orange, blue, red, clear, or water. And then the long shot, if you want to place a long bet, maybe get a chance to win some big money, purple. So some of the strange bets that are happening around Super Bowl 53 coming up on Sunday. We'll take a break, come back. More of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the way for this 1st of February 2019 at 33 minutes past the hour. Mike Magnotti, everybody's entitled to his opinion. It's on the way next.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat, poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha Frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I was talking with a liberal the other day who was bemoaning the foils of Donald Trump. Now, suddenly, though, she said, is this how you conservatives felt about Barack Obama? Well, duh. It is amazing to me that people of opposing political views can't begin to accept that there are political views diametrically opposed to theirs that in the perception of others have great merits, or at least some merit. Of course, though, Trump is an idiot. Well, actually, he's not. And therefore, it's okay to hate him. And Obama did ruin this country. Oh, no, actually, he didn't. So it's okay to hate him. This is how people think. Now, sorry, folks, just because someone doesn't agree with you politically doesn't make them wrong. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Are you suffering with joint pain? Need orthopedic care sooner than later? For an orthopedic evaluation, there's no reason to wait weeks or months. You can get the help you need now from the experts at Lake Chelan Community Hospital, led by Johns Hopkins-trained Dr. Joshua Shohowski. Their orthopedic team specializes in sports medicine, knees, shoulders, and general orthopedics. When considering joint replacement, you should know all your options. Call or visit Lake Chelan Community Hospital today.
Did you know that dental disease is the #1 illness affecting a pet's health? Bacteria from the mouth gets carried into your pet's blood and can affect the heart, lungs, and kidneys. By age 3, nearly 75% of pets have some form of dental disease. Dr. Shauna Bass and the staff at Paws and Claws Veterinary Hospital care about your pets, and good dental care can help your pet live a long and happy life. Learn how to clean your pet's teeth or see what Paws and Claws can do to keep your pet smiling by calling 888-PAWS or see us on the corner of 4th and Island, East Wenatchee.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It only happens every 3 years. A bunch of folks who have a bunch of talent get together, and a few folks who don't have any talent at all, but they're handy, and they all go up on stage and they do a show. Am I talking about a Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland movie? No. I'm talking about Follies, very special Follies. The 70th Follies opens and closes, unfortunately, this weekend. So I had to get these people on. Everybody knows Jaime to my far left. The last time, Connie, you were on my program, you were on here for an entirely different reason.
I was indeed.
So introduce yourself to our folks at home.
Hello, Connie Morris. Good morning.
Connie is you're the president of the guild, right? The Follies Guild?
No, I am the co-chair.
Co-chair.
Of the event.
Of the event,
with
of Follies
Marissa
itself.
Collins.
Okay.
She is my master in crime.
And Jaime, of course, is the creative guy behind all this, and you've done Follies before here in the big city.
Many times, yeah. This is my 7th Follies.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And if they do it every 3 years, that means, I don't know, I don't know math.
Just started when I was really young.
Yeah. Yeah, his first Follies he directed here, he was 12.
Just barely.
We have a lot to talk about with both, but right out of the box, Jaime, does the Wenatchee Valley have talent?
We have a ton of talent. It's amazing. We have about 125 people in the cast. I'd say 3 of them have talent, and they're gonna kill me. We have some really great singers. We have excellent dancers. We have people that have never done this before, which is always what I love, is bringing new people to the stage to let them experience something that they've never had before. This is just a great community bonding, feel-good kind of a thing. Everybody works really hard, all walks of life. They come together and make this creation that happens and then goes away just like that.
Mm-hmm. It's like Brigadoon.
It's magic.
It really is.
Magic.
The audition, that must have been terribly difficult for you, because all these people who auditioned, I know 125 is a lot, but you got to make cuts. You got to say sorry. You didn't.
Well, so everybody that auditions gets into the show, and it's not really an audition. People show up for the different numbers, and sort of depends on how many costumes I have for that particular number. But a lot of them I just go, all right, you're all in, you made it, and they'd all go, yay! It was all fun. And other numbers I had to, I only had a specific amount of costumes, and so I had to really dig in, and but you know, it all works out, and everybody ends up in something, and their life changes forever. It's awesome.
For people out there who say, "What do you mean? What is Follies? What does that word even mean? What is the show? What is the show? Give folks an idea."
What is the show? Well, Follies is kind of, well, there's this word called perfection, and then there's this word called Follies. And Follies should just be fun and goofy, although there's some really, actually, sublime would be another for perfection. It's things that are just really rehearsed and practiced, and then there's these things that just could go, you never know where they're gonna go, and you just watch it and hope that it's gonna go in a good direction.
How do you?
I know.
Connie's laughing.
I know, she's a main culprit, actually.
Yes. I've gone in the wrong direction.
Yeah. How long, Connie, how long has Follies been planned for? Has it been 2.5-year planning process, 3 years? Because almost as soon as Follies is over, you start working on the next one, right?
Essentially, yes. The last year for sure, intensely.
I love this, by the way.
Well,
nice.
This is our signature costume.
I love it. Are you in the show, Connie? Are you on stage?
I am.
Are you?
I am indeed.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you singing, dancing? What are you doing?
No, I dance.
Okay.
You don't want to hear me sing. Absolutely not.
I've been to a bunch of, I've gone to Follies as long as I can remember. And from an audience standpoint, as Jaime mentioned, first of all, it's fun. Yeah. It's high energy, but it's a kick in the butt to sit there at the New American Performing Arts Center with a packed house and you're going, you know, that's my dentist up there.
Yeah.
And that guy over there is my insurance agent.
Right.
And I play golf with that guy, and here they are on stage. Yeah. Having the time of their lives.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's just about the show, but what I've come to realize, I've been doing this like 33 years, what I've come to realize, it's really just about people coming together. And that is, when I watch people start to make friends, and they're like, I never would have known this person. They would never have crossed, not likely to have crossed my path. And now you have people working together and they become friends and they're saying, oh, hey, how are you doing? Walking down the streets of Wenatchee, being all friendly and stuff. Who doesn't want that?
Wenatchee's a friendly town.
I know.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
There's no plot.
No,
there's
just a bunch of acts.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're watching one thing and then completely different, going to another thing. So no theme or anything. It's just a follow.
Is it herding cats sometimes? 125 people making sure they're in the right spot at the right time.
It's more like herding noodles. I'd say it's like watch all these people going like this, and you know, okay, this is gonna happen.
How do you pace the show, Jaime? How do you understand this? This will be our opening act and closing. Is everybody on stage? How do you work that out?
I show up with sort of the bones of the show already put together, and then I put people in all those. But I allow space in between for local acts, like if there's something that is somebody has a little act that they want to put in, and so we get some of that, and it just comes together.
Connie, you
have to have a vision, though. You have to have the bones.
You're and besides behind the scenes and all that good stuff at Guild, you're in the show. How would you describe Jaime's directorial style for Follies?
Spontaneous.
Wrong person to ask.
He shoots from the hip, and he totally uses the talent he has and tries to highlight the best in all of us. So it's a wonderful experience. People come out feeling better about who they are.
Is the fact that Follies only 3 years, is only every 3 years, makes it that much more special? It's not. There's no real burnout factor, as opposed to something that would be like every year. You know?
Yeah, it would be a lot to put on every year. Plus, we get sponsorships from the community. I want to do a shout out for JDSA Law, our premier sponsor. And you know, our community's asked to contribute a lot, so it's good that we do it every 3 years. So it's not too much of a burden on our wonderful sponsors.
70 years ago is when this first started. Is that right? 70 years ago?
November 1948. The first show was held at the old Liberty Theater, and it was that was a different guild name than the Junior Wenatchee Follies Guild.
Right.
You couldn't be over 50 to be in that guild, so those things have changed, obviously.
Right.
But
so in other words, you wouldn't be.
You're not over 50.
You're not over 50. So.
Well, it's interesting. I think the way it started, a company by the name of Cargill Productions, who Jaime got his start with, approached Mrs. Vernon Neal, Margaret Neal, about doing this fundraiser. And so they put on their first show. And for the first 50 years, most of the funds went to the hospital, the 2 hospitals, for various items and machines. And then about 1998, I've been in the Guild for 25 years, so I've seen some transitions.
So you joined the Guild when you were 12, just like when Jaime started
Exactly.
direct? Wow, that's incredible.
We decided to shift our focus to more community-based giving. And so we've given to Mobile Meals, Senior Center, CASA, Women's Resource Center.
They've raised over $1 million in charitable donations in the 70 years. That's a big number.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
isn't it? So, and now we're going through another transition I want to talk about.
Please do.
Again, so first 50 years, hospitals, the next 20 years, we have given to lots of different nonprofits and individuals in the community, actually, kids that need ice skates or underpants for the grade schools, a wide variety of giving. So now we've decided, seriously.
That's 2 things I didn't think I was going to hear today together.
You could have used those for the full money last year, but we won't get into that. Anyway.
So we realized that our group has evolved into wanting to give to needy children and families. So we've actually created a foundation. And so all of the proceeds from this year's show will go to the Children's Foundation.
Oh,
so we're
good.
super excited about how we've evolved and moving forward. And we hope to do Follies for many, many, many years.
You know, you mentioned children. We need to mention this. This is a family-friendly show. I went to Follies all the time when I was a kid. I loved it. I loved the energy. It was just about, anybody can come and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's no real adult content.
Yeah. I was actually talking, I was up skiing the other day, and one of the guys that works handing out skis and stuff like that, I was like, you gotta come see, and I know him for several years, and I said, you gotta come see the Follies. He goes, I've never done that. I think we do. He's like, I'm not really a theater person, but this sounds like a lot of fun. And I said, yeah, there's something for everybody in there. There's all styles of music, and it's just fun. You don't have to pay attention to a story. It's a great time.
Connie, you were going to make a point before I stepped in about the kids thing. Was that something that you wanted to touch on?
I think I forgot. Oh, I was going to make a point about Jaime. He joined, I don't know what year you joined Cargill.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Anyway,
being vague about that.
he started, and I just think that's a cool part of the story, that he got his start in his career with the same company that we began this process with in 1948. Cargill is no longer. And I think Jaime's he's the last director.
The last guy doing this.
You brought in an interesting point. How did you get involved to begin with? Take me back those 21 years.
The Guild stalked me for about 4 years. They really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do shows all over the United States, and I had shows in Spokane, I had shows over in Tacoma, Longview, and in Yakima. So I had a lot of Washington shows, and I had started my own business, and so they would come to my shows and they'd watch me, and then they'd talk a little bit, and it took them a little while to jump from the company that I used to work for that I had left and started my own business. So finally they jumped, and I came here the first time in 2001. So.
And you're just coming back.
Here I am, yeah.
And it's been such a relief, because the history of the Cargill directors, you never knew what kind of personality you were going to have, or what sort of costumes they would bring, or if they'd show up for rehearsals. There are all kinds of stories. This guy's as solid as rock.
Solid. And they have gotten used to all of my personalities.
That's right. The cast absolutely adores him.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously you keep coming back, and that tells us something.
Yeah, we have a blast, and that's why I came back and started a summer theater too. So.
What the after party on Saturday night must be a kick in the rear end, because it's all over and everybody's done it.
Lots of Fireball.
Yeah.
I'm going to be stuffing it in my dress.
How's rehearsals going, by the way?
They're going very, very well, but just to that point, I
ahead.
get lots of calls and emails and Facebook messages after the show. People are like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so bored, I feel so sad, I miss all my friends. I was like, well, you know, you can pick up a phone and still get together with them and go out and have a good time. And, you know, but I get so much of that. The Follies Blues, they call it.
Yeah.
Follies Blues.
And it's true. It's 100% true. Rehearsals are doing good.
It's going great.
Okay.
Yeah. We just last night put the Act One together. We have a great band. Glenn Isaacson has put together a wonderful band for us.
Yep.
So almost all of the music is live. We have a couple of tracks in it, but it's nice just to hear a big band. Well, it's not huge. It's only 8-piece, but just to hear live music, and the singers love, because they don't get a chance to do that very often. So,
Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back with Jaime and Connie, and we'll talk about tickets and all the important things that you need to know about Follies. It's back every 3 years, and by golly, it's this year. More with Jaime and Connie when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Only one country could build a truck like this. Designed in California, engineered in Michigan, tested in Arizona, and assembled in Mississippi. Powered by Cummins of Indiana. The all-new Nissan Titan. It's an American classic. Is it on your list? Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing Honey Blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
And we are back with Connie and Jaime talking Follies 2019. Whenever I have theater people on promoting the show, I always want to give the people who you don't see on stage all the credit they deserve, the behind-the-scenes people without which you can't do a show. Who wants to do the honors there? I'm talking about people who are helping out with moving sets and sound and lighting, all those people who are part of the theater experience, but you don't get to see
Well, the
them.
team at the PAC is amazing.
They're the best.
Mike Locke and his whole group, they're awesome. And all of our volunteers, people that didn't want to be on stage but are helping out backstage from the guild and from the community, both.
And you're not in this on your own. You got Christy and other people helping you out, right? From your guild. Talk about some of the people from your guild that are putting this together.
Yes.
Give them the kudos they deserve.
There are many committees that go into this process. We have publicity, Belinda Tidd, tickets, Donna Parsons. Oh gosh, do I need to name them all? Costumes is Kathy
Marketing.
Langevin and me. Well, that's Belinda Tidd.
Marissa is your
talent is Kathy Campbell. So it takes all 40 to 50 members of the guild to make this happen. And most of all, I want to thank the volunteers, the cast volunteers, because without them we wouldn't have a show. And they give how many hours of their time every night for a month. Depending on the numbers they're in, that depends on the hours, but I'm so thankful and grateful for them to come out and participate.
Tickets, show times, all that. Put the potatoes next to the piece of meat on my plate. All the important things I need to know.
Okay, get tickets at the PAC.
Okay.
All right, there's shows. I said that?
No, he said
Okay. Show times are Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 7, and then a Saturday matinee. Okay, so there's a time for everyone. 1 o'clock, yeah. And let's see, what else was I going to say?
The Saturday night show will sell out.
It's pretty close to sold out.
And that's the last night.
And we have a lot of tickets available, not too many, on the matinee. So if you want to bring your kids, it's family friendly, as we said before. Yeah. I want to do a shout out to JDSA Law,
the primary sponsor. They cut the check and it cleared the bank. So that was kind of cool.
Exactly. And we have other very large sponsors. We have a sponsor for each show as well that pays them. We have walk-on ads and all kinds of ways that the community can sponsor money. And they actually can still give by going to our website. If you'd like to give money to this year's Follies, go to WenatcheeFolliesGuild.org and hit the donate button.
It's right here. I got it up.
Every penny we can get. Awesome. We want to have a huge number Saturday night. We'll reveal the amount raised over the last year and a half.
Let's wrap it up where we began. Jaime, I want to ask you this. Opening night is Thursday.
Yes.
5 minutes before the curtains part, the place is packed. Everybody's going. There's electricity in the air. Electricity is the air. Who's kidding who? What's your pep talk to the crew before the curtains part and the show is on?
Well, you talked about energy and electricity in the air, and I'm all about that. So I have the cast backstage, and they're warming up, and we're getting their vocal energy pumped up. We're getting their physical energy pumped up. I got everybody smiling. I get them laughing, because laughing is not only just fun to do, it's a great core exercise. So I get the whole cast laughing right before they go on stage, and so that's like my trademark.
Serious, it is.
I get everybody just laughing till tears come down their face, and then they go out and just have fun.
Be prepared to be entertained. That's my advice to you. And as I mentioned before, you're gonna, as you watch Follies, you're gonna see 25, 30 people on that stage that you know.
At least.
Yeah, at least. And you're gonna go, kudos to those folks for just going up there and doing it.
Yep.
Come see us this weekend at the Follies.
Absolutely.
And you'll be blown away by these huge production numbers that, I mean, I saw Act 1 last night for the first time, really standing back. It is awesome.
Lots of energy.
Great show.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Always good to see you. Anytime you want to come by, Connie, you have an open invitation.
Thank
Jaime,
you.
call ahead, please.
She's going to bring a boa to you next time.
That's what we do.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Later.
Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their 2 new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood. It's great.
Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking, you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
Closing in on the close of another great Wenatchee morning and Wake Up Wenatchee Valley here on the NCW Life Channel. It's going straight to the vault, by the way. This show, broadcast history, of course, right here on this finally Friday. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz. We're at 28 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley. The pass is looking pretty good right now anyway. There's a traction advisory up at Snoqualmie Pass with a little light snow falling. There's bare and dry conditions, frost and ice on Stevens and Blewett. Our forecast calling for a winter weather advisory until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm wondering if the National Weather Service is going to wave that off. Looking for a high in the 30s today, maybe a wintry mix for the Wenatchee Valley as we get through the morning hours this morning. But so far, commute's been good, and so we'll knock on wood for that one. Hey, don't forget we have the news coming up with Grant Olson at 5, 6, and 10 tonight here on the NCW Life Channel. Grant will also be courtside for basketball tonight. Ike and Wenatchee. Have a great Super Bowl weekend. Enjoy the festivities, and we'll see you on Monday right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for watching.